So week 4 here, we are working on number sense. And a lot of this is going to pull from elementary school ideas, but it's making sure that we continue to use them, even though we got our algorithm. So a lot of mental math, and then we're going to slip some order of operations in this week as well too. So with day 1, we just want to hit our basics, and we want to make sure we've got our multiplication under control. So if I throw someone down like 300 times 5, all right, are you thinking about multiplying the 3 times the 5 to get yourself 15? And because we've got 2 zeros, all right, there we go. So this is why sometimes we read this number as 1,500. And you hear that with money a lot of times, $1,500. Okay, 15 hundreds. The 2 zeros puts us hundreds, and then we got our 15 that's in front of it. So that's what we're working off of. We could do some repeat, 300, 600. It's just not going to be as efficient. So we definitely want those idea of, hey, we've got zeros, let's bring them along for the ride. So let's throw 1 or 2 at you and see what you do with it. How about this one? Did you? Did you? 160. There we go. Remember, hit that pause button if you need to, unless you can. I'm going to give you a moment. Again, if you can write it down right away, go ahead and do that. How about this? $30 times 20. Same idea. Did you? 1 0, 2 zeros. There we go. 600 that we're looking at. All right. Let's throw 1 more at you, and we'll let you run it from there. 300 times 40. Did you? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 12,000. There you go. All right. So again, basic, but things that we definitely want to make use out of with our number sense. So there's your multiplication. Let's draw into our subtraction here. And the idea is we've got our algorithm, but when we have smaller numbers that are closer to each other, we definitely want to make use of our mental math as well. So like 23 minus 18. What we don't want to do is we don't want to think about, okay, the 3 and the 8 are lined up, I need to borrow. No, what we want to figure out here is subtraction really means how far apart. And what we're going to use is the zeros place. In other words, the tens. It's kind of odd to say. I know I said zeros place. It really isn't a zeros place. But we're talking about the 0 in the ones place. I guess that's maybe a better way of saying it. So what I'm looking at here is I'm always looking for that bridge. So who's a number that ends in 0 that's between 23 and 18? And in our head, we want to think 20. And now it's just about the distance. How far apart? We're 3 apart. 23 from 20 is 3. 18 to get to 20 is 2 apart. So how far were they all together? Well, it's 5. So again, if we can do more of that mental math and we can use that 0, all right? And again, so we talked about, why did I say tens? Well, in this case, it was 20 that's there. We might use hundreds here if we're talking about hundreds. The main thing is we want someone with the 0 that's in between there, because the mental math is much stronger that's there. All right, so let's try this. Let's try 47 minus 29. Okay, who can we use? Well, I could use 40, right? I could use 30. Yeah, it's not going to make any difference there. I find it's easier to actually start with the smaller number. So up here with the 18, I didn't tell you that there, but that's what's going on there. It's closest to a 20 that's there. And that really was the only option. But with the 29, I'm going to use a 30 that's here, because I just find it's easier to count up than it is to count down. That's my personal preference. If you've got it the other way, hey, by all means, run with it. But how far from 29 to 30? 1. How far from 30 to 47? 17. And I'm using the idea of, I'm at 30. I got to get to 40, so that's 10. To get to 47, that's 7 more, so there's my 17. So altogether, we travel the distance of 18. Yeah. All right, this one's for you to try by yourself. 83 minus 74. Hit the pause button if you need to. All right, so I'm using 80 as my number. Again, I start with a smaller number, and for me, it's just easier to count up. So that's 6 away, that's 3 away, so altogether, we are 9 away. So again, thinking of your subtraction as how far apart. That's one of your big kind of number sense ones to use. You're going to get a lot of use regarding that mental math standpoint of those ideas. And then, yeah, let's also think about missing multiplication problems. So 8 times something gives me 24. What I find in 6th grade is a lot of students, they can do their straight multiplication. 2 times 5. 8 times 2. Stuff like that. But as soon as you start asking like, okay, 8 times what is going to get you 24, there's a little bit more of a stumbling. And one of the big 6th grade topics is ratios. And in ratios, there's a lot of missing number that's here. So, yeah, what do you multiply 8 by to get to 24? Well, we use a 3. Yeah, and again, you can roll through your math facts. You can think of it as a division problem. Since we don't know what to multiply this way, we're going to go the other way and do a division problem. And sure enough, 24 divided by 8 is 3. So if you want to think of it as a multiplication problem and roll through your facts, fine. If you want to think of it as a division problem, fine. But being able to find that missing term, that's something we want to make sure we can do. So 7 times what is going to give me 35? Can you say? Yeah, that's a 5. That's there. All right. How about something times 5 gives me 40? Can you say? Yeah, there's 8. Okay. And then how about one more here? Something times 6 equals 36. Yeah, and it happens to be 6. Yeah, exactly. 6 times 6 is 36. So again, those are things we want to be aware of and kind of make it more of realizing that, hey, if we're trying to find what's missing in the multiplication problem, we're really doing division problem. 36 divided by 6, 6. 40 divided by 5 is 8. So yeah, different techniques of different ways of looking at it. So what we want to kind of do last in here is kind of mix them on up. I'm going to give you 5 problems for you to go ahead and solve, and we'll let you have at it there. All right. So I'll write them all out. You can pause as you want to. I'll go back in and I'll start solving there. All right, so I'm going to solve these 3, and I'm going to put 3 more in there. So I'm actually going to make it 6. I'm sorry, I told you 5. But yeah, no, we're going to do 3 more because 1 from each group there. All right, so did you, and then did you count? 24,000. Distance. So this is our subtraction. So did you use a 20? How far from 18 to 20? Well, that's 2. And you can just mentally do it. How far from 20 to 47? Well, that's 27, because I've got to get to my 40 and then 7 more. So combine those together, and there it is, 29. All right. And then 3 times what gives me 27? 3 times 9. Yeah, there it is. All right. So let's give you 3 more to work with here. Ooh. What do you think I'm going to put there? Yeah. All right. So pause if you need to. Otherwise, let's jump into it. Did you? 1, 2. 2,800. All right. But 38 minus 12. All right. I'm going to use 20. So that gets me to 8. From 20 to 38, that gets me 18. So altogether, ooh, okay, all right, 18 plus 8. Okay, so 2 to get to 20. That means I need 6 more, so that's 26. Now, this is one of the problems where you might be able to stack them in your head and do it mentally since there's no borrowing that's involved. So if you can do that, again, it's another technique that's fine that works along with it. But again, something to get me to someone who ends in a 0 is the way to go. And then 6 times what's 24? Oh, that's a 4. All right. So again, we definitely want to work on our number sense that's here. So definitely a video worthwhile, just kind of playing again and just rolling right through it. And yeah, away we go.